What's up? Welcome to today's live stream. I'm him. Today is Monday, January 27th, and I don't really know what I'm doing, so I decided to stream. We'll figure out what happens. If anyone's here and you're watching, you have questions, or you want to just chat, I'm free, wide open. I want to say that this is titled as an app. Yeah, it's after hours. So my after hours streams are really, it's open season. So you come in, ask questions, or if you have hot takes or opinions, share them. If you want mine on certain things, I'm happy to give them. Or if you have, I don't know, just whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over. I have some things that I was about to read, so I'll just read on stream. So I was reading, I started reading this. Hold on, give me a second. All right. So this guy is, where did he post this? He posted this on LinkedIn. He's saying that he makes $340,000 a year in San Francisco. All right, so I'm gonna start this again. This guy, he's a founder. He makes $340,000 a year in San Francisco as a software engineer, and he's saying that it's utterly unlivable. Let's see, let's break it down. After taxes, my take-home pay is approximately $220,000 or $18,400 a month, which I know that, you know, if you're someone who isn't making this amount of money, you may be, oh, well, what's the big deal? That you still make a lot. But I think it's important to realize that this man is paying $120,000 in taxes just right off the bat. That's a lot of money, and I wonder what he's getting in return for that money. Here's my take. He lives in the same city as other people who are not paying that much in taxes. So he's getting the same level of services for the most part as people who don't pay anywhere near that. Got to think about that. Let's go to the next thing. Rent for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in Pacific Heights is $9,500 a month. So he's spending almost half of his after-tax income on housing. Now, I will admit that, this is a lot. Maybe he has a roommate, maybe he has kids. But I don't think you have to pay this. I think you can get rent for under this in San Francisco. I hear some chats coming in. Hey, how you doing, Kaiser Economist? And yes, you are right. That is an incredible amount in taxes that he's paying. Now, I know that this rent right here is a lot, right? Or it may not even, yeah, it says rent. It's a lot. But let's keep in mind that this man is earning $340,000 a year. So technically he can afford it, especially if he weren't giving up $120,000 a year to taxes. For what it's worth, his taxes and his rent are about the same per year. So that should tell you something. Like he can afford it. His Cybertruck lease is $1,368. That's a lot. My Tesla Model Y lease, and it's not even like it's like $900. I always round up to $1,000. It's $900, which is a lot. Pack and fold laundry service, $200. This is a negligible expense at this point, like real talk. And given that he's a founder and he's probably working all the time, going out to different meetings and all that kind of stuff, it makes sense that he may have a service to go and like do his laundry and all that kind of stuff. I know that some apartments in that region don't have washers and dryers built in, so you have to go to a laundromat. So this is, it's well within reason. Now, where things start to get a little interesting, DoorDash salads, $16.80. It's quite a bit for some leaves and plants. No protein. I don't understand it. But let's see how much that is per day. It's probably not as much as you think per day. So we divide by 30. So, all right, never mind. So spending $56 a day on DoorDash. Wow, that's incredible. Dinner and drinks for hinge dates. Well, okay, this right here is such an unnecessary expense for hinge dates. Like, these women are strong and independent. I'm pretty sure that they can afford to buy their own food, just like they make their own money. But he's paying $23.80 a month. Which, I mean, given that this is $56, this isn't that much more. This is what, like $60, $70? It's not that much more. Skiing. Wow, he's doing a lot. Okay, $26.50 per month. Wow, okay. Here I am thinking that my expenses are high. A new shirt, $20. This is me. I don't pay for clothes. So yeah, this is a negative. I don't even know why I even included this. Entertainment and fun. That sounds like Hinge and skiing. Like, all of this, his fun budget is quite high, $1,800. What else do we got? We got the total. He's burning through $19,000 a month, but he's only earning $18,000 a month. And he's saying that despite working my butt off for 30 hours a week remotely, why is he working remote and living in San Francisco? That doesn't make sense. Okay, anyway, and making $340,000 a year, I'm somehow in a position where I'm losing $1,000 a month. And his question is, what is wrong with this city? Is this a joke? I wonder if this is a joke post. Okay. Okay, all right, okay. It is a joke. I'm reading it, I'm like, wait a minute, is this a joke? Okay. So yes, this makes sense now. Like, I'm like, all these expenses, these are incredibly high. For what it's worth, I spend maybe $200 a month, and that's a maybe, on DoorDash. And it's not, and I'm saying on average, most months it's zero. But if it's raining or something, I'm not about to go out. Or if it's late, because I have Tesla insurance. And when you have Tesla insurance, if you drive after 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it jacks up your rate. So I'm just like, all right, well, given that my rate is going to get jacked up, I'm going to pay for that. I'm also like, there's also just the risk of being on the road, like anything can happen. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it's unfortunate because I don't drive that much. So I have a 30,000 mile lease for my Tesla. I've had the Tesla for 2 years now. I have 6,800 miles on it. That should tell you something. I don't drive much. Okay, this was a fun post. I'll share this for anyone who's actually, how would I share this? Actually, it doesn't matter. I'll just like it and move on. Get your like. So it was a joke, fortunately. This guy's spending that much money. LangChain is something that I'm gonna play with maybe. I want to read this paper right here as well. And maybe I don't know. Do I want to read this paper or do I want to see if I can convince AI to read? Oh wait, can I? Maybe I shouldn't. Hold on. Maybe I shouldn't read that one. Maybe I need to find something that's public. Cause I don't know if this is public. World Academy Science, Engineering, Technology. It's a conference paper. Let me see if it's public. It's in one of these threads. Doom, PDF, run, Chrome. Nope. My notifications. No, that's not it either. All right. So he shared this paper with me, a couple papers, and I saw it last night, but now I don't see it. View newer replies. All right, here we are. So there's one in ACM. Maybe I can look at this one if it's public. Yeah. Let's see if that's the one I was looking at. By former DTA protein language. Okay, sure, I'll sign in. I wonder if I still have my account in here. No. It was through my university. All right, let me see if I have another way of getting this paper. Because I remember reading it, but maybe it's because I have the paper directly. It could be that. DL, nope. Never mind. It is, I don't think it's publicly available, like easily publicly available. Cause in ACM. Okay, well, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like I will be able to read this publicly. So let me go ahead and close this so I don't accidentally bring it back up. And I'll ask the authors if they're cool with me talking about it on stream, because I actually know the folks who published it. Except for her. I don't know who this person is. Layla? Is she in the Slack channel? What is going on? I never, wait, no, this isn't no Layla. I don't think I ever met her. I know y'all don't see who I'm looking at. That's okay. I have another monitor over here. I'm already on LinkedIn. I'm tripping. I'm over here closing applications now. By the way, if there is no conversation, I'm going to edit a video. I'm going to work as usual. Wait, but I don't understand what just happened. I thought I clicked this name. Okay. Bio information. You know, I might know some folks who would be interested in speaking with her. Still learning Mandarin? Yes. Although I guess it's not learning in the same way. I mean, yeah, it's still practicing that type of thing, but I'm much more comfortable with it. It's been a long time for me though. That's the thing. So I started studying or learning or practicing, whatever words you want to use. I started doing it in 2008 as a result of watching the Olympics. You remember the 2008 Olympics? I watched that with my grandfather, and I was just like, oh, okay, I should learn this language. So that year, after the summer, I went to school and decided to do that as my language of choice. So I've never really truly stopped per se, but I haven't been studying for the HSK in a while. And that's because I don't really see the point in it. Sure, I can do it. Like I've taken a bunch of practice tests up to HSK 3 and I do fine with them. And I'm just like, okay, sure, I can go and take this test, but how does that help me? I had to go pay money to take a test that, I'm gonna be real, the kind of people who I deal with, no one cares if you have a test score. Like, that doesn't matter. It's more important that I can communicate or understand what people are saying if need be. But no, maybe I'll take it just because in the future. I'm not planning to take it though. Why are you studying Mandarin as well? Is that why you're asking? If so, I'm happy to do some Mandarin stuff, like Mandarin studies, if there's appetite for it, if there's that stuff that people would like to see. Oh, we're going to. Okay. Oh my gosh, my computer is freezing again. Okay, some source locations, bike cleaning. Oh, hey, mama. I see you're here. No, I'm learning German. I remember a while ago on stream you briefly talked about Mandarin. Ah, yeah. You know, every now and again, I don't do it live because the thing about the live stuff is that I'm just going to keep going between a bunch of different things until something works. So I don't know what people want to see or hear about. But yeah, you know, I'm happy to do. Honestly, I need to do something in Chinese. In fact, I have nothing better to do, so I could do that now. But I also know that other people watch this and they have it on in the background, and I can only imagine that they don't feel like, what is this dude doing? Media, bike cleaning, do any of the following, connect. And click check again. Okay, I've done that. Set new storage. I can't click check again. How about I just do that? Oh, okay. All right, cool. So it seems to be okay. So I had this, it looks like I had already set up a project. So I want to set up some additional projects. And I probably, wait a minute. Am I already having issues? Okay, no, I'm not. Okay. Now I don't like the fact that these are all called YouTube. So we're going to rename this. It's going to be YouTube intro. This is YouTube subscribe. Remember how I was like, I'm going to get a little more organized on the video stuff now that I have time to do it. It's going to be YouTube outro. No idea what any of these are, so we'll delete them all. Okay. A little bit of cleanup. I want to say that there was some cooking stuff that I did that I need to get started. Oh, I should also check to see how the cooking video that I just uploaded is doing. See if it's gotten at least 50 views. I wouldn't be surprised if it's only got like 30 views or something like that. All right, GT3 and Gills. Ride to car. All right, this is going to just get deleted. It's taking up a lot of space. Okay, let's try this gym thing. Let's try that. It's a new style of video. Never really done this, so I imagine it's going to start off quite shitty as everything else that I start, but it will eventually get decent. All right, we'll do media. Video. This is the Pocket 3. Alright, we'll have exports. I don't think I'm going to have. Maybe I will have music at some point. We'll see. Okay, let's create a new library. And because I've done all this pre-work, if you even want to call it that, yeah, I can just drag and drop, and all of the tags, labels, all that will be automatically created for me based off of my folder hierarchy. Okay. Do YouTube. I'll just dump it all to the timeline. So, I forgot to check through it. So this is why I check through stuff. It's for these types of clips here where I don't know I'm recording, and I am. This is what I'm saying. It's harder for me to delete it here because of reasons. So let me delete here. I want to reveal it in the Finder first and then move it to trash because it may not actually delete it. Okay, I did. Okay, all right, look at that. It actually removed it. We're good. I woke up sleepy. So I'm still kind of sleepy, but it doesn't make sense to go to sleep right now. Although I thought about it. I was like, I could just go take a nap, and I will go take a nap eventually. Oh, wow. I have my first... Oh, wait, never mind. I was going to say I have some folks posting content that I should watch, but I don't think this is it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it, even though it's not in the right channel. I'm going to go ahead and open it.
Colombian President Gustavo.
This is actually really funny to me. So we're gonna switch to this. I'm gonna before I do that, let me do one last thing here. Let me get the corrective LUT on here. Where's the DJI Pocket 3? Okay, so you should see that now all of a sudden I have color. All right. So what I'm going to see is how long is this video, or how much footage do I have? I'm going to set a mental note. So this is an hour and 20 minutes of footage. I want this video to be under 12 minutes. That's my goal. Yeah. So I'm going to target 12 minutes for the video, which means that I need to condense all of that into around here. Okay, yeah. All right. I'll come back to that. Okay, so I don't know if any of you are aware of what's been going on. We had a couple of military planes try to repatriate Colombian prisoners, basically illegal migrants who came into our country illegally. They were prisoners and all that kind of stuff back in Colombia, and they're also committing crimes here. The leader, president, whatever you want to call him, I guess his name is Gustavo Petro. He decided to not let the planes land, and and yeah, he FAFO. That's the term that comes to mind. Like he's going to be the first world leader to find out. So let me read this, even though I know it's a video, I want to read it. So he's announced that he will not allow U.S. military planes carrying Colombian migrants to land in Colombia. This decision comes in response to what Petro perceives as criminal treatment of migrants by the U.S. I want to pause there. If he were truly concerned about that, because this is what I call gaslighting. If he were truly concerned about that, why would you turn away the plane dropping off those people who you say are being criminally treated? If you really gave any shit, just half of a shit, why would you turn away the repatriation of your citizens who you say are being criminally treated? That doesn't make sense to me, but all right, stating that we must be treated with dignity. Who told you that? What? Like, No, like what? Who told you that? If I got locked up in a Colombian prison, would I be treated with dignity? Are the current Colombian prisoners, I guess they all been freed and sent here, but out of all those prisoners in Colombia, are they treated with dignity? I don't know. There's this really famous Colombian, Pablo Escobar. Was he treated with dignity when he was shot on the roof and people were posing over him like he was big game, like in Africa? How they do when they have their foot like next to the head or on the body? Like, was he treated with dignity? You mean like that? Anyway, consequently, 2 U.S. military flights were turned back, escalating tensions between the two countries over immigration policies. Here's the truth. Americans aren't immigrating to Colombia. So this isn't really a between the two countries per se. It's not a equal exchange. It's more of they're coming here. And then they may make money illegally or legally, and they send money back home. So that doesn't help anyone here. All right, let's get into this. So that's the background. All right. So there's already been movement on this last night, but I was tired. I went to the gym and I was tired, so I didn't want to stream. Let's go into it.
Petro announced that he will not allow the U.S. military planes carrying Colombian migrants to land in Colombia. 2 U.S. military flights returned back, escalating tensions between the two countries. And so Donald obviously goes to Twitter to talk about it. And I was just informed that 2 reparation flights with a large number of legal criminals were not allowed in Colombia.
I don't want to. I'm going to go read myself. I don't like to. So I have Twitter. I have it. I guess it's called X now. Does it? Is it X? Oh yeah, it is X.com. Oh, there's also some interesting things going on in Dallas, which maybe we'll do that. Let me go to explore Trump, and then Colombia. I should follow. What's his name? He has a what do you call this thing? A handle, right? He has a Twitter, I think. Yeah, Donald J. Trump. Look at that. I would expect to see it here, but I don't. I wonder if he has another. Let's see. POTUS, maybe? Huh. Would you visit Colombia? I heard it's rather nice. I mean, sure, I would. I've never had an interest in going down there. A lot of the South American countries, I've been to a few countries in South America. I don't have much interest in South America in general. It's nothing against it other than Peru. I love Peru, but I don't really like the food in most places and down there, with the exception being Peru. Like the food there. Oh, actually Guyana. The food in Guyana is amazing. So I mean, I'll eat some Brazilian food, but I'm not really that big of a fan of it. I'm very much driven by, do I like the food? All right, I want to go through the timeline. It's a short timeline though. That's why I'm like, it's not gonna be hard. Today is 27, so it's happened 26. Yeah, here we are. So I was just informed that the 2 repatriation flights from the U.S. There's a large number of illegals. I'm gonna turn my music back up for now. Large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This order was given by Colombia's socialist president, Gustavo Petro, who's already very unpopular amongst his people. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States. This right here is I don't know if you want to be on the other side of this statement right here. Not right now. So I've directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. Emergency 25% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. In 1 week, the 25% tariffs will be raised to 50%. A travel ban and immediate visa revocations on the Colombian government officials and all allies and supporters. I think Colombian government officials, I think that includes the ambassador too. Like that includes the people who are here, on official government business. Visa sanctions on all party members. Wow. Family members and the supporters of the Colombian man. Enhanced customs and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on the national security grounds. So even the people, if they're coming here, they're going to go through increased scrutiny. And I heard that they do these I'm not going to. IEEPA, Treasury, banking, and financial sanctions to be fully imposed. These measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligations with regard to the acceptance and return of the criminals they forced into the United States. Okay, so, the president of Colombia, he's thinking that he's making big moves, that he has leverage, that he is someone. And the president has just said, hey, well, okay, we'll play that game. Not even a day goes by and he's changing his tune. Let's see if he talked about it here. If not, I'll talk about it and I'll try to find supporting evidence. All right, we'll see. So Colombia president allows use of plane. Okay, yeah, we'll go to CNN. I don't know if they're trustworthy, but sure, we'll go to them. Colombia backs down on accepting deportees on military planes after Trump's tariff threats. Note the date. Not even a full 24 hours goes by, and he's already backpedaling. Let's read. Colombia has walked back from the brink of a damaging trade war with the United States, reaching an agreement on accepting deported migrants being returned on military planes after a flurry of threats from President Donald Trump that included steep tariffs. It's amazing what strong leadership can do. Over the past 4 years, we've been taken advantage of as if we are not the world's most powerful country. There is no country on earth that remotely touches our Navy, just our Navy. We're not even talking about the Army or the Air Force or the Space Force, just the Navy. Colombia said Sunday evening it had agreed to all of President Trump's terms. All of them, huh? Literally all of them. Including the unrestricted acceptance, of immigrants who entered the U.S. illegally. I wonder if that means that they are also accepting any immigrant and not just Colombians now. Because that's a big loss of face there, where you're like, oh, we won't even accept our citizens. And then after the fact, it's like, oh, no. Okay, we'll take any illegal immigrant. Man. After 2 U.S. military planes, we got that. We will continue to receive Colombians and Colombian women. Wait, what's the difference? What's the difference between Colombians and Colombian women? Why does this need to be specified? Someone help me. I really would like to know why does Colombian women need to be specified from Colombians? How are they different? Anyway, who return as deportees, guaranteeing them decent conditions as citizens subject to rights. See, the thing about rights is that technically rights are fake. They don't exist. Rights only exist within the framework of a society. We determine, what things we will and won't tolerate, but at the end of the day, those rights are enforced via violence. Someone has to die or be willing to die. We don't have to be willing to die for anybody's rights. Like, you don't have rights when you enter our country. I mean, technically you do, but no. You go back home. Oh, they have a reputation. What is this reputation? I'm unaware. I don't know. What's the reputation they have? Let's see here. Where was I at? Okay, yeah. Foreign Minister Luis Gilberto Murillo said in a televised statement, he added that U.S. deportation flights had resumed and the Colombian president plane was being prepared to assist in repatriating. This is the part right here. Not only that, he's even offering his plane. The Colombian presidential plane was being prepared to assist in repatriating citizens. I have a feeling that a lot of these countries will find out they don't build aircrafts. There are only two places on Earth really that builds aircrafts. You have the entire EU, which is a bunch of countries, and then you have America. Those are your options. Real talk. Those are your options. And even if you have domestically produced planes, like is the case partially for Russia, not really, but more so in China, all of the avionics, all of the flight control systems, all of the materials, all of that is still produced and manufactured here in the West or in America. These countries seem to think that they have leverage. I don't eat bananas, so I don't really care. It's like, if we don't get bananas here, okay, fine, it's cool. Like, okay, that's fine. And like, if we don't get the minerals and whatever we need or we want, well, we have that Navy. It seems like the president has decided that we are going back to imperialism, and I'm here for it. I don't care anymore. You know, I've had it being taken advantage of in our country. How is it the case that I pay $90,000 a year in taxes, yet I get almost nothing, but there are these people who can just walk across the border and they get more than I have ever received from this government? That rubs me the wrong way. And, you know, it's, you know, it's how you create enemies. I know they're not at fault. I understand that. I realize that they're not the ones who created this environment, but the people who did, maybe they should have thought about the long-term consequences of what that would look like when you have a bunch of people who are not from here, who have not contributed to our society in any meaningful way. They come here and somehow they're given benefits that people here in America simply would never be able to get. How are we feeding these illegal migrants who are coming into our country illegally, but we have homeless veterans on our street, the people who actually went out and expanded the American empire with their blood and their bodies? That irks me. I'm not really a military type person. That's not something that I'm big on. I don't really like the fact that we're involved in a lot of wars and all that kind of stuff. I would prefer to stay here, but at the same time, it's a principle thing. You should treat the people who built your country, made it great, protected the country, protected the empire, built the empire. You should treat those people well. If you don't, it sends a very strong signal to people like me who would never join the military, who would never fight for that type of stuff, unless, you know, people are here on the homeland. That's the only way I'm fighting. I'm not about to go off abroad to fight. But if people are here, that's the only way. So you're sending a strong message to people like me that, nah, you're not valued, even if you directly support our cause. So yeah, it's kind of a bad situation for, you know, a lot of these folks who are coming in illegally. You know, again, they had no say in the policies that led to what's happening. But, you know, life is like that sometimes, right? All right, so as a result, the White House also backed off its threat to impose tariffs against Colombia. So it seems like tariffs work. I've been hearing a lot of talk from our mainstream media and the folks who were saying that if we elect Trump, that we would get Nazism and he's Hitler and all these other things. It seems like in this case, in this specific case, the threat of tariffs worked. Okay. He also backed off his threat to impose tariffs unless Colombia fails to honor this agreement. adding other penalties, including visa sanctions and customs inspections of Colombian nationals and cargo ships, will stay in place until the first plane of Colombian deportees is successfully returned. Damn. He's like, nah, like, not letting off the pressure. And I am very positive that other countries are going to fall in line. Because, you know, just like in reality in life, you know, somebody may stand up and you just got to make an example out of that one. It's unfortunate that Colombia decided to be the one to be made an example of. Today's event makes clear to the world that America is respected again. President Trump will continue to fiercely protect our nation's sovereignty, and he expects all other nations of the world to fully cooperate in accepting the deportation of their citizens illegally present in the United States. The announcement brings an end to the tumultuous weekend that threatened to raise coffee prices for American consumers. Wow. that's what they're concerned about, is coffee prices. Okay. For what it's worth, coffee is also grown in Kenya. You can get it from there. It's also grown in Ethiopia. You can get it from there. It's grown all around the world. We don't need Colombian coffee. If that's all we're worried about, and I guess that's all Colombia's economy is it's probably all in coffee. Let's see. Colombia economy. Let's see what they are about. Oh wait, no. Here. Agriculture. Coffee. Okay, yeah. It's the backbone of their economy. This is probably why he backed down. He's like, you know, people probably not gonna buy that coffee because coffee's already expensive. I don't know what coffee costs right now. I don't drink coffee. It's disgusting to me. But I know it's expensive, and I know that people are drug fiends here in America. They need their drugs in the morning, first thing in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. So yeah, I guess that's it. Let's go back to the other thing right here, economic snapshot. Oh my gosh, I'm hungry all of a sudden. I just became hungry. Is this a full? Oh, I'm not watching a video. I don't want to watch a video. But I'll watch a video. I don't have anything better to do in life. This music is trash. Let's turn that off. All right. After a strong post-pandemic rebound, Colombia's economic activity has slowed. 1.8%. Oh, wow. That's really low. You know, if they like America, we have a fairly low growth rate too, but we're a very large and mature economy. Ideally, we can get our growth back on track. That will help out a lot. Unfortunately, the economy here in America is based on growth. So we almost need GDP growth at all costs because our financial system depends on it. Like, we like to inflate away. And when I say we, I mean the United States government. They like to inflate away their debt. What that means is you can borrow, let's say you borrow $100,000 and you borrowed it 30 years ago. Well, you fast forward to today, $100,000 is nothing. So you basically have inflated away the debt. That's what we like to do here. In 2024, reflecting the lingering impacts of tight macroeconomic policies and slowing global growth. Okay. Acceleration of GDP growth to 2.8% is expected for 2025. Comprehensive reforms will help, I guess, not allowing these citizens, not allowing these planes to land. That was going to impact that. So I guess here we are. Okay, this looks like it's just, it doesn't matter, this feud, okay. Yeah, he blocked some things. There were some visa restrictions. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. I didn't know he tried to retaliate. But hold on, I want to read this. The visa restrictions are particularly extraordinary as they were usually reserved for adversaries or individuals who committed human rights abuses. I think if you are sending prisoners illegally into our country, why shouldn't you be designated an adversary to the United States? You're certainly my adversary, so I think this applies. Because this or right here means that it could be either or. It doesn't mean that they had to commit human rights abuses. It just means that this is the other option. I would classify this act, the move that they did, as adversarial. While Colombia is a major non-NATO ally of the United States, and for decades has been its closest partner in South America. I guess that's that coffee, huh? In response, Petro threatened retaliatory tariffs on the United States and attacked Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio on social media, writing, "You will never see me burning a U.S. flag or carrying out a raid to return handcuffed illegal immigrants to the U.S." He's right. He would never see that. Are there illegal Americans in Colombia right now? If so, send them back. That's fine. Send them back. I am pretty sure that their economy would lose all that growth, because let's be real, the Americans who are fleeing the economic issues that are happening here in America are rich by world standards. They may not be rich here, but abroad they're rich by world standards. And they are contributing to these economies. They're spending American dollars that they earn from American companies there. And it has downsides too, obviously. It's making it unaffordable for the local population because prices are rising. But you got to keep in mind, who's responsible for the increase in prices? It's not our fault that greed is an inherent human condition where it's just humans are greedy. So if you have people who own things there and they realize that there's a group of people who will pay double, triple, quadruple the cost of what things cost, they're okay with raising the prices. And if their own citizens and their own family can't afford it, well, that's not really the fault of the Americans. They didn't raise the prices. This is funny to me. You will never see me burning a U.S. flag. Okay. I see a lot of illegal migrants in my country carrying foreign flags here. Why? I'll show some stuff later if I don't forget. Okay, so an agreement is reached. The face-off also demonstrates the potential challenges facing other countries as they brace for Trump's immigration crackdown. The new president already threatening tariffs on Canada and Mexico over border issues. And the perceived early victory over Colombia seems to have emboldened some in the White House. I mean, even if it, how could we lose to Colombia? Let's be real. I'm being serious. They are not even a near competitor. I'm not saying this because I have anything against Colombia. I'm just saying this by fact. We have a larger population. We have a larger economy. We have more technology. We have more manufacturing capability. We have a better education system, even though it's become trash lately. Even with the trash, the rest of the world, the richest and brightest people will still send their children here. To not just here in America, but to the West in general, for education. English is the de facto language, the lingua de franca. That's the language for the world. It's not Spanish. Even though Spain would probably love it, Spain became irrelevant a long time ago. And yes, a lot of the world speaks Spanish, but they also speak English. You can't go out there and publicly defy us in that way. A Trump administrator told CNN. All right, yeah, cool. So we're going to read whatever this is, consequences of a trade war, and then I'm going to go back to the video that I wanted to watch. Though a trade war may have been averted for now, the tit-for-tat threats highlighted the expensive fallout one could cause. Colombia is not a major trading partner with the U.S., but its major exports include minerals, metals, and coffee. Coffee prices have already shot higher over the past year, and tariffs could have made it even more expensive for American consumers. American consumers can drink water. That's where I'm at. Drink water, hot water. If you want it hot, just make it hot. Put some tea in it if you want flavor. And even if Trump walked back his threats against Colombia, he also promised across-the-board tariffs on other countries as soon as this week if they don't move manufacturing to the U.S. Those tariffs could dramatically boost prices for Americans because importers pay the tariffs and often pass the increased cost on to consumers. Here's the thing that CNN it seems like they are failing to realize. Yes, the prices of things may go up, but here's the thing. We are not obligated to pay those prices. So yes, the manufacturers, the importers, yeah, they can jack up prices. And Americans can say, okay, well, we won't purchase these things. Eventually, these importers and manufacturers are going to be in a losing situation where the only option they have is to lower prices. You got to keep in mind that here in America, we pay a lot of money for things that when you go abroad are incredibly cheap. So there is a premium that other countries can earn here in America, which is why a lot of them want to be here in America. It's because we pay a crap ton of money for even the most basic things. Let's take a piece of fruit, for instance, or onion. Let's take an onion. I go to the grocery store, an onion is $1.25 here. When I was abroad, an onion converted to my currency was about 5 to 10 cents. Just let that sink in. Meanwhile, economic and foreign policy analysts also urged Colombia to avoid a diplomatic feud with the U.S. The Colombian Council on the International Relations, a think tank of former foreign ministers and analysts, warned that commercial retaliation would only harm Colombia. I'm glad they came to that conclusion because that's true. Yes, it would make life inconvenient for some people here in America, but we'll be all right. And warned the country's government to preserve this relationship with Washington. That's a good move. The head of Colombo American Chamber of Commerce, Maria Claudia Lacouture, I don't know how you say that, echoed those sentiments in a post on X, warning that U.S. tariffs on Colombian products would have an immediate and devastating impact. In coffee alone, more than 500,000 families depend on this sector. In flour farming, thousands of single mothers will lose their livelihood. We could continue adding sectors that would be affected. All right. Brazil decries degrading aircraft conditions. The U.S. began using military aircraft to return recent border crossers back to their countries of origin last week, with flights expected to continue daily, partly as a message to other nations. While House Border Czar Tom Homan said Sunday, the Defense Department has helped administrations before, but not at this level. So it's a force multiplier, and it's sending a strong signal to the world. Our borders are closed. That's good. The U.S. is also asking Mexico for help repatriating its nationals via land ports of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border, though Mexico also appeared to turn around military flights heading for the country last week. Okay, well, we'll see. I would say that Mexico is in the best position to be turning out. Like, they're in the best position. Colombia is not in that kind of position. Now, here's the thing. We've now designated the cartels as terrorist groups. The Mexican president should tread lightly. When certain Americans get freedom on their mind, they're like, oh, we can deliver some freedom. It's not a good situation. We should avoid that. We should avoid getting certain people in our country to want to go and deliver some freedom to Mexico. Take it that way. I would prefer for us to leave Mexico alone and not go there and give them some freedom. Oh, man. All right, so let's see here. Brazil joined Colombia on Sunday in condemning the Trump administration's handling of repatriated migrants on deportation flights, denouncing the treatment of Brazilian nationals who arrived in the country Friday as degrading. Well, you know what, Mr. Brazilian president, whoever you are, feel free to send your planes on your dime to our country to pick up your citizens. We don't like, why should my tax money be spent to make sure that they have this nice flight back? No, like they got here illegally. The fact that we're flying them back and not making them walk, come on now. Like, let's be real. They're being flown back. That right there is already, that's a lot. I think that's offering a lot. Flights are not cheap. What would be degrading is having them ride the trains that they took to get here back. That would be degrading. But even so, like, I don't mind. I think at least, I don't know if CNN has realized this, or maybe other countries haven't realized this. I think a lot of America, the American population, a lot of us are just, we don't care anymore. I'm not even sorry. When I go to other countries, I have to get visas. And if I don't have to do a visa, and if there's like a visa on arrival, or if it's, visa free for Americans, they tell you that, you can only stay in the country for so long, typically 3 months at the max. You know what I do? I follow their laws. It's pretty simple. If you don't want problems, don't enter a country illegally. I've never entered any country illegally. You want to know something? Even when I had visas denied, trying to go into countries that I wanted to go and visit, you know what I didn't do? I didn't decide to take it upon myself to illegally cross their borders and just make myself, or just feel entitled to benefits of that country. No, I said, okay, I can't go to your country then. All right, I'll move on. I don't see how these people who are supposedly running sovereign nations where they don't allow illegal migration into their countries, like, why are they expecting us to do it? I don't like this idea that's been perpetrated throughout the world, that like America or just Western countries have to take people from other places. I don't understand that. All these people, they'll come here and they'll talk shit about how America's so bad and how like they want to destroy America. But it's just like, why the hell didn't you come here then? You could have stayed home. Don't come here and talk shit about our country. Stay your ass at home. Pretty simple. Like, if I want to talk shit about a certain country, you better believe it's probably because I don't want to go there. Why would I talk shit about a country while living in that country, while also not contributing to the bottom line of that country? Brazilian authorities said that they found 88 handcuffed deportees on a U.S. flight that mistakenly landed in a different city than its intended destination. Brazilian officials did not authorize the plane to continue on due to the use of handcuffs and chains, the poor condition of the aircraft with a faulty air conditioning system, among other problems. Again, whoever this Brazilian person is, feel free to send your planes, your pilots, use your gas, because I know they have gas too. Use your resources to repatriate your citizens. They are already getting better treatment than Americans. Maybe that's what these world leaders don't realize, is that Americans don't even get this. So for them to say, oh, this is poor, it's like, no, like, have you been to Brazil? Like, seriously, have you been to Brazil? What about that Olympic Village that they built that displaced tens of thousands of people, and that's fallen into a state of disrepair just like 5-10 years later? Hold on, let's Brazil Olympic Village. Before and then after. What the hold on. What did it just do? Are we taking forever to load now? So this is the man. This is Brazil, right? So he has the audacity to talk about the conditions of our stuff. This is his country. This is their like what year? This is what, 2025. This isn't even a decade later, and this is the state of what they built. They displaced tens of thousands of their citizens, who I guess they care so much about now. They didn't give a shit about them back then when they were building all this stuff, but now, okay, now this is unacceptable. It's like, really? Here's what they built. Here's the condition of it right now. And this dude has the audacity to say what, man, wow, okay. Can't make this up. Oh, man. By the way, if y'all want to see videos of this, I'm happy to show it. And I've been knowing about this is a pretty common thing for what it's worth. So I look at when you win the Olympics, it's never really a good thing for most countries. It normally is one of the worst things that can happen to a country, because for whatever reason, leaders in certain countries seem to think that building sport venues and all this kind of crap is worth the money. There is very little return. These facilities need a lot of upkeep. And the types of things that can be done here are things that fundamentally don't add value to society. I'm not saying that sports and entertainment aren't valuable. I mean, in a real sense, they don't produce anything, right? Like, these are all things that you have. Once you have a rich society, you have sports teams and athletes who they make money just playing sports. But most of us have to work and provide something of substantive value in order to trade, right? Like, it's hard to trade kicking footballs or kickball, soccers, whatever you call them, soccer balls. I don't know what you call them. All right, let's go back to the video. There's a lot of context. Maybe it's going to be a rehash of some of this context, but that's okay. I have time. Let's turn off the music.
So I've directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. Emergency 25% tariffs on all goods coming into the United States. In 1 week, the 25% tariffs will be raised to This is, bro, we put the mafia in the White House. A travel ban and immediate visa revocations of the Colombian government officials and all allies and supporters. A visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government.
I love it. I love it. I don't really care if you feel that this is mean or what. It doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, it is a solution, and it seems to be bringing about the results that the people who voted for this man wanted. Straight up. Like, I was talking to someone. I was just like, I have to give the dude respect, because, you know, like, he made all these promises. I didn't vote for the dude. I don't vote in general, but I'm just like, he made all these promises and he said what he's going to do. And so far, I just have to be honest. This is the first time in my life where I've seen a president do many of the things that he said he was going to do within the first week. He's not even been in office for a week yet. And already I've seen more of President Trump answering questions, just commenting on things. I've seen more of him in the less than a week that he's been in office than I've seen from the previous president, if you want to call him that, over the past 6 months. The difference is night and day. Even if I don't like the man, which I don't have anything against the man, I don't know him, right? Like, I'm not one of these other individuals who's like, oh, I don't like him. To me, that's stupid. You're an idiot if you're someone who's like, I hate someone that you've never met. It's like, yeah, how do you know you hate this man? Like, you know, he could be putting on a persona for all you know.
These measures are just the beginning. They're apparently already roaching out. Somebody said they already backed down.
I love that they're roaching out.
Check Truth Social. Jesus.
Should I be on Truth Social? Is that a thing? Truth Social. I'm not creating an account. Or maybe I should. If I'm going to be doing content stuff, maybe I should create an account. I'll do it later. The FAFO.
This is, by the way, this is he made this post. This is him that is posting it himself. So I don't see any check unusual whales on Twitter. This isn't like a fat chick's account, right? Or something like that. Oh, here we go. I was worried it could have been like some porn account or something like that. And Colombian
fat chick account. Unusual whales. I can see why. Oh man.
President Gustavo Petro has reversed his decision and is now reportedly offering his presidential plane to help deport. Oh my God, is this real? This is insane. Wow. It only took 39 minutes. There's no.
Oh, it was only 39 minutes. Okay, okay. I was busy yesterday. I was doing a bunch of stuff. I was out. I thought it was within hours. I didn't know that it was 39 minutes. Dang. By the way, there's some other news. Let me pull it up so I can. I'm gonna cue this because I heard that we are no longer giving aid to Ukraine. Trump aid Ukraine. I don't know if it's true, so I want to know. Yo, what's up, Jimmy? How you doing? By the way, I am watching. This is your video that you shared, by the way, or maybe I shared it. I don't remember. I may have shared it in after hours. By the way, post that kind of stuff in after hours if it's stuff you want me to talk about. But yeah, I've seen part of it, but I've been busy. But I'm watching it now. We're almost through.
No way, this happened. It's on the president of Colombia's webpage. This is the official account from.
I also want to make just notice this, okay? We have a person saying that they're going to retaliate. I mean, obviously that's over now, but he was saying that he was going to retaliate by, also putting tariffs and sanctions and all that kind of stuff. But I want you to just recognize something. He's using X, Twitter. Twitter is an American company. American technology, the internet, computers, the microprocessor, all American technology. So we have a president whose country can't even produce something that the world uses or wants to use, and he's saying what he's going to do. Like it's a little weird to me that you're using American technology to say what you will and won't do when it comes to America. It's like, really? I wonder where GPS comes from. I wonder why why China was trying to come up with an alternative system to GPS. The world relies on GPS. Hey, that's American, by the way, American military. I wonder if that fact was lost on their president, that they don't produce anything that they need to use to run their country. I'm pretty sure that their computers that they're using, because I've been to a lot of different places. I've been to certain places where I see what the government officials, I see what they're using. They use Microsoft Windows, an American company, American technology. They use Microsoft Office, American. Let's say they want to use Lotus Notes, or if that still exists, American. Google American. They didn't even produce their own maps of their own countries. That took Americans going there and doing that for them. It's like these people just don't understand that they are not in a position to dictate what they will and will not do when it comes to America. And this is before we get into economics. This is before we get into the military. It's before we get into a lot of things. It's just they don't have the leverage. I remember this. I was surprised. It's not lost, which is why bro made a statement real quick, 30 minutes. Yeah, that's what I just got to that part. That within 39 minutes, he flipped and he's like, oh, and by the way, you could use my plane too. Wow. You know what? If I were a Colombian prisoner forced into America, I would be glad that my president has done this, because I went from a jail cell to riding on the presidential plane. They thought Biden was still in office. Yeah, they must have thought that, the same minority of people, because I really think that there was a minority of people that have overtaken the Democratic Party. I do not believe that the Democratic Party is really about a lot of the things that were coming out. I think that was a very small majority of, extreme left-leaning progressives, the extremists. And that exists on both sides of the spectrum, right? Like you have extremist left, you have extremist right. I think that for whatever reason, the Democratic Party was co-opted by the extreme right, or I'm sorry, the extreme left, which in my opinion is not that dissimilar to the extreme right. They both want less humans, in my opinion.
The Republic of Colombia, and it says, attention, President Petro Gustavo provides a presidential plane for the dignified return of his fellow citizens. That took 1 hour. Yep, biggest roach out since pirate. He tweeted.
I love that.
Around.
I really love that phrase. Roaching. Roaching out. Oh man.
Realized this is the response. It's on his Instagram too. I bet it is. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Even if you might not like Trump, you've got to admit that the people who do like Trump, this is a good day for them. This is exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, I'm in that boat where it's just like you got to respect him at least for that. You know, he is. He's making moves, whether you like it or not. I don't really care. Like I don't. It's not. He's making moves, and they are in line with what people voted for. And yeah, I don't see how this hurts me in America at all. So yeah, put me first. I'm happy for it. I think that I think that small minority of the extremely left were the loudest, and the more center ones didn't want to get canceled for not getting. Yes, that's the problem right there. Right. It's that effectively we have, like, I don't want to say it this mean, it's kind of mean, but it's like if you're like weak-minded and you don't really have any principles to stand on, you'll easily be railroaded. And I agree that there are a lot of, people who are Democratic who, or when I say Democratic, I mean the Democratic Party, not the system of government. I believe a lot of them were basically railroaded into these things. And I don't know if a lot of them agreed, because we had a lot of Democrats, lifelong Democrats, who they're like, no, we don't want this. And they voted for Trump. Just let that sink in. People who, lifelong Democrats, no, we don't want that. At least Trump seems to be putting America first, and he seems to be more about family. He seems to be more about the values that, let's be real, led to America being what it is. And his inauguration speech, even though, he said some things that were really, in my opinion, inspirational. He didn't really do anything much else, but I can't fault the dude. Like, the only thing I have to compare right now is the previous administration. We had a vice president who didn't know our Pledge of Allegiance. And we had a president who, for whatever reason, would never answer questions without his handlers there. So in my opinion, we basically were being ran by unelected people for the past 3 to 4 years. So comparing to that, like, this President Trump is a breath of fresh air so far. I imagine we're going to get back to some stupidity things and, some stupid things but that's fine. So long as it's not as stupid as there's light, if you put bleach, as long as it's none of that, we're good. At least I'm good. All right, let's go to the next video. This is Chinese.
A ceramic statue of Donald Trump meditating has gained renewed attention online. The sculpture created...
My computer is freezing. It's almost as if I don't have... Oh, wait, let me close Final Cut. Maybe that's unhappy. We'll close Final Cut. Probably going to close Slack because, like, why do I need to have Slack open anymore? Yeah, close Slack. We cover these compute cycles.
Created by Chinese artist Hong Jin-shi in 2021, depicts Trump dressed in traditional Chinese monk attire, seated in a meditative pose with legs crossed and hands forming the Dhyana Mudra. His half-closed eyes and solemn expression present a stark contrast to his usual dominant image. Following Trump's return to the White House...
I gotta make this faster. It's just too slow for me. I'm sorry.
House, these ceramic sculptures have once again become a hot item online. Depending on the size, prices range from 145
I
to
want to buy one of
2,700
these.
US dollars.
I think I want to buy one of these. It's kind of funny to me. It's just a fun little thing. It's like, oh yeah, it's a little statue thing. They seem to love this dude. It's interesting. I'll be right back.
Each statue bears the phrase, "Make your company great again." A playful twist.
Make your company great again.
US dollars. Each
I was trying to read that. I can read some of these characters.
statue bears the phrase, "Make your company great again." 700 US dollars. Each statue bears the phrase, "Make your company great again," a playful twist on Trump's campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again." Imitation versions have also appeared on platforms like Amazon and the Chinese e-commerce site Temu, selling for as low as 45 US dollars. These Zen-inspired Trump statues first went viral in 2021 after debuting on e-commerce platforms. They quickly made national headlines but were soon removed from Chinese platforms. Regarding the statue's renewed popularity, the designer of the work noted that while the sculptures have been taken down from Chinese platforms and related advertisements deleted, many people still order them through alternative channels. He remarked, "Since his return, it feels like the world has become lively again. He's back."
This is a Chinese national saying this. I know a lot of people don't follow international news, but there were parades and marches and like shows of support before Trump got elected in other countries. Imagine that.
In the headlines every day. I think he's just as fascinating as before. This Chinese designer's perception of Trump is representative of many views in China. The statue's popularity reflects Trump's surprisingly high level of admiration in the country. This is noteworthy considering Trump's implementation of tariffs against China during his first term, which escalated into a historic US-China trade war. At the time, Chinese state media harshly criticized Trump, while social media was flooded with complaints and insults, accusing him of damaging US-China relations and stifling China's rise. However, the official propaganda did not fully align with public opinion. While many citizens with limited access to diverse information sources were influenced by state...
This person is fake typing. No one types like, I'm sorry. I know this has nothing to do with what's being said, but these stock videos, that's what I call them sometimes. No one types this way. And I can tell what people are typing because I type for a living. So I'm really good at figuring out what people are writing when they're typing. These are just random characters. Also, this is an American keyboard. I know what different like keyboard layouts look like. This is an American keyboard.
Narratives and held...
Oh wait, no, that wasn't American. That was a European one.
Access.
One of the European. I don't know if it's UK or if it's one of the other European, but it's definitely not a Chinese keyboard.
To diverse information sources were influenced by state narratives and held negative views of Trump. A significant number of Chinese people expressed support for him, even if it meant enduring economic sanctions and hardships. During Trump's 2020 re-election campaign,
I heard that his dance is also incredibly popular. If you follow some of the Chinese, there's some Chinese people who post on X. They talk about these types of things.
Videos of the Trump dance garnered millions of likes and hundreds of thousands of comments on Chinese social media platforms. The overwhelming support for a foreign leader known for his anti-communist stance was extraordinary in China's tightly controlled society. Although fewer videos of Trump's dance have appeared on Chinese platforms after his recent election, many imitation clips by Chinese users surfaced. Some even shared tips on mimicking his style: pout, clap, and punch energetically. However, most of these videos were eventually deleted. It is remarkable that Trump has amassed such a significant fan base in China, despite strict information control and high-pressure policies. Many Chinese fans have even given him nicknames. For example, Chuan Jianguo, Trump Nation Builder, suggests a hope that Trump will help dismantle the Chinese Communist Party's regime. Another nickname, Dong Wang, the Understanding King.
Dong Wang. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Implies that Trump truly understands the struggles and needs of the Chinese people. As Trump returns to power, Chinese state media continues to issue insincere statements filled with empty phrases like,
it is, but the thing is that certain people use VPNs. Yes, it's illegal, but these people they're not the normal citizens, right? Like they make a little bit more money. It's kind of like how it's like everywhere else in the world where, there are laws, but laws are not equally applied across social classes. So it's the same there, right? So many of them, they have international businesses. They travel out of the country a lot. They have wealth there. They control stuff there. They may have some affiliations. They use VPNs, including most of the CCP party members. Like CCP has an official account. Some of the party members have official accounts, their own accounts, and they're allowed to post. Well, how do you think they do it? They use a VPN. It's a known secret. Now, I think just like in any other country where you have a lot of laws, it's good to have a lot of laws because, you can control people that way. You let everybody do illegal stuff. You don't clamp down, but you can always clamp down, right? You can always leave that in the air hanging. That is like, if you get too far away from what we're after, we might have to clamp down on you. So it's allowed.
strengthen cooperation.
It's kind of like here, right? Where how people speed here all the time on the freeway. Or let's say certain drugs like marijuana is illegal federally. Yet for whatever reason, there are states that like they do it anyway, right? So it's kind of the same situation. Like, yeah, there are laws, but it doesn't really matter unless the laws are applied.
Cooperation for mutual benefit. Beneath this facade, however, lies deep resentment and fear of Trump. Public reactions have sharply contrasted with official narratives, with strong grassroots support for Trump's anti-communist cabinet, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, marking the start of a wave of pro-Trump sentiment. Rubio, a senator from Florida, was unanimously confirmed by the U.S. Senate as the 72nd Secretary of State on Trump's inauguration day, becoming the first cabinet member appointed under the new administration. During his confirmation,
I just want to say that a bunch of people were saying how racist Trump is and all the other words and all that other crap. Marco Rubio, that last name, Rubio. Who is Trump racist against? I would like to know specifically which races. Name the races. I would argue that most people can't name the races because most people don't even know what the hell a race is. Like somebody would be like, "Oh, black is a race." It's actually not. White also is not a race. Mexican is not a race. In fact, Mexican, black, white, like these are not even the same kind of category of things. Like Mexican is a nationality. White and black, that just describes someone's complexion. That's not a race. Most people can't define what a race is. So, to me, it's a meaningless word, but everyone uses it and they're like, "Oh, of course it exists." This is okay. I would like to know, who is Trump racist against?
Hearing on January 15th, held by the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Rubio, who has been sanctioned twice by the Chinese government, condemned the Chinese Communist Party for achieving global superpower status through lies, deceit, hacking, and theft.
How is that not how any other super like cheating like that? Like, it's not fair, right? this is it's international politics. There is no, so it's like, even though I get what he's trying to say, like I get like China can do what they want. So can anyone else. If they lie and cheat and steal to get their way to the top, and the result is they get to the top, who cares? The winners always rewrite history.
He warned that if the US doesn't change its policies, the CCP will remain the greatest threat to American prosperity in the 21st century. Rubio also cautioned China against making rash and irrational moves regarding Taiwan. On January 16th, during a regular press briefing, a reporter from Agence France-Presse asked the Chinese Foreign Ministry...
I hate that they censor this. I really hate that they censor this. Man, these crackers or cookies or whatever these are, my gosh, they are delicious. They're like some type of Iranian, Persian, I think they're Persian crack. I don't know what they are. Hold on, these right here. Holy crap. They are delicious. I just don't know what they're called. They told me, but it's in a language that I'm not familiar with. Asans? Have y'all heard? Do y'all know like crackers, Iranian, Persian cookies or something like that? Asans? I gotta look it up now. That's obviously not it. Persian biscuits. I don't know. They're delicious. I'm gonna have to figure out what they are though. All right. One other thing that's really important to know is that other countries realize that they have somewhat of an advantage if their language is difficult to learn. So all of this stuff here is in English. Now just imagine, why would they say what they really feel in English? Do you think that if you look at the English version of this, and you look at the Chinese version of this from China, that it's the same? That's saying the same things? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure if I were to go and use a VPN, I would expect to see different content and different messaging. The reason why I say that is because I've seen it before, where I saw something, and this is why I think they censor it sometimes. I saw what they were saying in the English translations, and I was reading what they were saying. I'm like, with my limited knowledge of being able to read Chinese, I'm like, that's not what that says. He's not saying what they're telling me they're saying. So I may start doing a little bit more of this as well, like looking at stuff in native language just to see what's really going on. Anyway, let's go back to my video. Is it this one? Yeah.
About Rubio's strong stance. The ministry spokesperson avoided the question. Interestingly, since Trump was re-elected, the official transcript of the briefing on the ministry's website referred to Rubio using a new transliteration of his name.
Oh, by the way, I see that I have people here. I'm surprised that there ain't anyone here watching. If you are watching, a thumbs up helps. Give me a like. It helps me a lot. More than a subscription. So you don't have to subscribe if you don't want to, but that helps too. You know, it makes me feel nice. I can be like, oh, my number went up 1.
Was a different Chinese character. Previously, both Chinese state media and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs had...
This character looks familiar. It's the same character, or it's not the same character. It looks familiar to the character in Ke. Let me see if I can find it. See this one right here in Ke. It looks similar to that. It just has a straight and a thing like that. So I don't know if it's similar or not, but in meaning, that's what I mean. I don't know if it's similar in meaning or not, but it looks very familiar to some other characters. So does this one right here. It looks familiar to another character as well.
Consistently used this Chinese character to refer to him. It was as if the CCP wanted to save the embarrassment of having to remove the sanctions on Rubio by changing him to a different person on paper. As a prominent hardliner on China, Rubio has long been labeled by the CCP as an anti-China vanguard. His criticism of the CCP's repression of Uyghurs and Hong Kongers led to 2 rounds of sanctions against him.
I mean, he should, like, this is what I like. Assuming that he's talking about this and he's really on and he really cares about this, isn't that what we should expect from our leadership here in America? If we really claim to value freedom and expression, and all these other things, it would make a lot of sense that we would have people in our government who act that out. The situation that's going on in Xinjiang, is it Xinjiang? I forgot how you say it.
A ceramic statue of Donald Trump meditating.
What just happened? All right, well, that was a mistake. I think it's Xinjiang.
Ceramic statue.
If I'm not mistaken, it's Xinjiang. Newly built. I don't think that's. Maybe it's, yeah. So I don't know how you spell. I don't actually know how you say it or how you spell it to know what it actually means. I thought it meant like something west or something, but maybe not.
Of Donald Trump meditating has gained.
I would like to go there if possible, just because I think it's beautiful. I've seen pictures of it. It's beautiful.
During another regular foreign ministry briefing, Rubio sanctioned before was, while this Rubio as Secretary of State is someone else entirely. The CCP never admits its mistakes, and this renaming attempt is unnecessary. On January 22nd,
I think that's from the face-saving culture thing, where you can't admit to a mistake. It leads to not great things. I think that this was the same type of phenomena at play during the Chernobyl incident that led to like life-changing events happening. It's because nobody wanted to say somebody was wrong or like push back, and it led to that.
Another regular foreign ministry briefing, questions about China-related issues under Trump's new administration, as well as Rubio's continued sanctions, dominated the discussion. One reporter specifically asked if China officially changed Rubio's transliteration from to. The spokesperson Mao Ning appeared visibly uncomfortable in response.
我还没有注意到，
Oh, I hadn't noticed that, but I can look into it.
Again, I don't like that they do that. I want to hear what she said herself. I don't know if I can trust someone's translation. Maybe I'm just a low trust person. Maybe it's that, but I would like to know for myself.
I think what's more important is probably his English name, though.
Some online commentators mocked the situation, saying, "You journalists are relentless. They tried to play a clever word game, but you wouldn't let it go. You've really embarrassed them." During Trump's first term, the CCP noticed his administration's tendency to differentiate between the Chinese people and the CCP. This suggested that the US's ultimate goal was to delegitimize the CCP regime. The CCP feels frustrated.
How is that not true, though? In the same way that it's true for here. The American government is a distinct entity from Americans, people. I see it the same way. In China, the CCP, their government, which effectively controls them, is different from the people. I think that it is a sign of intelligence that someone can differentiate the two. They could distinguish between the two, right? So if Trump is saying the CCP is a problem and we have nothing against Chinese people, but it's the CCP, CCP is like, oh, well, CCP is all Chinese. It's like, no, just because you say that doesn't mean that it's true. I mean, it may be true in your head, but like, we don't care what's true in your head. It's just in reality. I would imagine that a lot of people who are under CCP's rule, they may be okay with it, fine. But I would also argue that they probably do see themselves as a distinct entity from their government. China has had a lot of governments over the years. Lots of empires have risen and fell in China. And one thing that seems to be constant is that Chinese people identify themselves as Chinese, not with their government.
With Trump because they cannot influence future U.S. policies. In the past, they relied on strong business ties to manage U.S.-China tensions, believing there were limits to the strain. That confidence is gone. Trump's approach to China largely depends on the hawkish members of his team. Associate Professor Chen Shimin at National Taiwan University's Department of Political Science noted that Trump's first term fundamentally shifted U.S. and Western policy toward China. The CCP began to be treated as a strategic competitor, marking a paradigm shift. He added that Trump's second-term cabinet, including the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, will likely continue the same hardline policies. On trade, Trump may impose high tariffs to force the CCP to make concessions. Technology disputes, particularly over semiconductors, will also persist. On ideology, Trump's stance will remain consistent. Chen explained that Xi Jinping heavily relies on exports but cannot resolve China's structural economic issues. In 2024, exports hit a record high, accounting for around 20% of GDP. This overproduction has led to increased exports, fueling trade disputes with other countries. Chen believes Trump may adopt even stricter tariff policies, dealing a blow to China's economy and significantly undermining the CCP's legitimacy.
It's kind of crazy that China is still predominantly an export economy, because it seems like certain people there like to brag about having 1.4 billion people. I don't believe that number, but let's say that they did have 1.4 billion people. But your economy is still an export economy. What that tells me is that maybe there is no real economy there, right? Because if people aren't needing these things and you're forced to export them, like, why? But you have 1.4 billion people, yet you're exporting it to a country that has, 330 million people? It's interesting. It's just interesting.
In the past,
for what it's worth, this is the trade deficit that Trump is always going on and on about. Maybe not with China per se, but no, actually, I think it is with China too. I think we have a trade deficit with China.
CCP.
I want to check this now. USA trade deficit. China. Yeah, we do. U.S. goods and services trade with China totaled an estimated 754 or 58 billion in 2022. Exports were 195 billion. Imports were 562 billion. The U.S. goods and service trade deficit with China was 364 billion. Yeah, we still have a trade deficit with them. So our country with 1.4 billion people is predominantly exporting all their stuff, but they're not consuming anything. Interesting.
Maintained power by promoting economic growth, convincing people that hard work would lead to prosperity, without needing to think about politics. Now, the people are starting to see these issues as political. Trump's anti-communist stance hasn't wavered. In 2018, he urged countries to resist socialism. In 2023, he called for...
I do have to point out that socialism is to capitalism as democracy is to communism. I think what maybe was the right thing to say would be communism, which is a system of government similar to democracy, whereas capitalism is more of a social structure and how we organize ourselves and our economy. Socialism, Sorry, I hate to be a pedant, but yeah, there we go.
Communism to be
There's a
eradicated.
difference.
By May 2024, Trump openly denounced Marxism as a cult from hell. Recently, human trafficking linked to China's Belt and Road projects in Myanmar was exposed.
Oh yeah, that's been a long time thing. That's been going on for a long time. It's going on in Myanmar. It's also going on in Laos right now, or in Laos. Is it Laos or Laos? Laos or Laos? It's one. Whichever one. It's Laos. I think it's Laos. It's going on in Laos as well. Yeah, it's been going on in Myanmar for, I don't know, like 10 years or so. It's not good.
Allegedly, some patriotic businessmen involved are CCP security agents using their role to promote infiltration and influence abroad. Additionally, insiders have revealed to U.S. agencies that Xi Jinping's strategic focus has been on targeting the U.S. since 2018. The U.S. will definitely not tolerate the CCP's China Dream, making conflict between the two nations inevitable. In October 2024, the U.S. Congress released a report.
Let's look at this report. Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, if this is more than, okay, it's only a couple hundred pages. All right, so if anybody would like, I mean, you can Google it, of course, but I'm also going to drop the link to the PDF directly in my Discord. And this could be a good thing to play with. I have the AI thing that I'm doing a little bit of work. I'm going to be working on. I can't talk about it much. At least I don't think I can. But I'm going to be working on it, and this could be a fun source for me to like verify things. You know, because the goal would be to take content PDF and do something with it. So yeah, and I would probably use LangChain to do this. So I'm going to be playing around with LangChain to like reacquaint myself with it, because I haven't touched it in over a year. And yeah, I won't be doing that on, well, some things I will do on stream that's, you know, separate, like me just playing with certain tools that exist, you know, out in the open. But some of the other stuff I won't be streaming it.
Titled The CCP's Political Warfare, outlining 5 attacks the U.S. faces: unrestricted warfare, united front tactics, elite capture, narrative control, and manipulation of Chinese communities. The report emphasized that many government agencies remain unaware of these threats and called for an all-government response. In reality, the CCP has long waged unrestricted warfare against the U.S. In fall 2023, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan revealed during a closed meeting that CCP hackers could shut down dozens of U.S. ports, power grids, and other infrastructure at will. This revelation shed light on the CCP's China Dream and its initiatives like the Belt and Road and Confucius Institutes, which align with the communist expansionist
My school had a
goals
Confucius Institute. That fact was not lost on me while I was studying Chinese. And, you know, it's a Confucius Institute. Which, you know, it seems good on, you know, but when you understand things a little more, it's like, okay, I see what y'all are doing. I know why you're here.
liberating humanity.
Keeping tabs too on, you know, Chinese citizens who are going to school in America. Like, they keep tabs.
Historically, the Soviet Union challenged the U.S. ideologically, militarily, and politically. Today, the CCP challenges the U.S. on all fronts. During his inauguration speech, Trump emphasized faith in God as key to making America great again. In contrast,
I'm glad he said that, by the way. I'm very glad he said that, because for a while we've been going this weird direction where it seems like we have completely lost touch with our roots, our traditions. So I'm glad that he refocused. He's like, nah, like, we are a country that believes in a God. I prefer that to being like some of these other countries that, you know, they have nothing and they replace some higher thing with themselves. I don't like that.
The CCP, rooted in atheism, aims to defeat and replace the US, a goal Trump has vowed to resist. On January 20th, Trump was sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Instead of immediately imposing new tariffs on Chinese goods, he signed an order delaying the ban on TikTok. He later stated that imposing tariffs of 25% or even 100% could pressure Beijing into selling TikTok. Trump also warned of plans to impose 100% tariffs on goods from BRICS countries, including China and Russia. On January 21st, he announced plans.
That's going to include Indonesia as well. They've joined BRICS as a full member. If I'm not mistaken, I think Nigeria is also joined as well.
To introduce a 10% tariff on Chinese goods starting February 1st to punish the CCP for fentanyl exports to the US. Some have speculated that as a businessman, Trump prioritizes profits and would compromise at critical moments. CCP propaganda even hinted during the 2020 election that they preferred Trump to win. Trump dismissed such claims, saying they're an insult to him. China will do anything they can to have me lose this race. Donald Trump's return to the presidency, along with his efforts to counter the CCP during his first term, has led many in China to hope he can help dismantle the communist regime. On January 18th, well-known Shanghai activists Gu Guoping, Yu Zhonghuan, Zhang Shunbao, and Liu Dongbao held a gathering to congratulate Trump on his inauguration. They also called on him to pay attention to human rights in China. The group displayed a banner, took photos, and shared them online.
If they are in China, this was an incredibly dangerous thing to do. You got to think about this, right? Like this, if they are in China and they did this, this is incredibly dangerous. And they did it anyway. What would push somebody to do something that's incredibly dangerous, yet do it anyway? It's kind of how I'm looking at it. It's like, what would make them want to do that? If things are as good as, you know, certain influencers will have you believe, because I've noticed that there's been a lot of pro-China propaganda popping up on YouTube. If it were true, then why are there so many who are from there who no longer live there and or like they don't want to go back? It's interesting to me. It's just interesting.
These images circulated widely on social media, including in WeChat groups. Gu Guoping is a retired university professor in Shanghai, who has been a longtime activist after facing government-backed demolition of his property. Over the years, he has endured significant persecution, including 6 violent assaults by individuals hired by the authorities. He has spent more than 20 years petitioning, during which both of his parents passed away under distressing circumstances in a nursing home. Despite his efforts, his grievances remain unresolved. Under the CCP's authoritarian rule, ordinary citizens lack true freedom, and activists are frequent targets of state violence. Openly celebrating Trump's presidency and making such demands could lead to imprisonment at any moment. Mr. Wu, a business owner from a southern provincial capital, said the CCP is nearing its end. He described China's current economic downturn as a result of systemic issues, not just a cyclical decline. Wu stated that many people were thrilled by Trump's election. He noted that while Trump's actions against the CCP might indirectly affect ordinary Chinese citizens, many now believe that making sacrifices to end the regime's tyranny is worthwhile. Mr. Gao, a resident...
Ooh, it sounds like that heavily mandate has ended. That's what it sounded like, that, you know, they are thinking that. Am I streaming still? Either my internet is down or I'm being blocked, which could be happening, you know, given what video I'm watching. If I am streaming, I'm being blocked. Oh, no, I am streaming. Okay, look at that. So it just seems like there is an issue with my Wi-Fi network, I guess. Okay, all right, well, I guess I'm streaming.
Of Jiangsu province said, "The Communist Party is a cancer on human society. As long as it exists, humanity is doomed. My friend, who campaigned for food safety and against corruption in healthcare, lost his life as a result of espionage tactics used by the party. Now, we're seeing atrocities like large-scale human trafficking tied to telecom scam operations, which have connections to various Chinese local governments.
My iPad seems to be frozen. The party's
leaders live in constant...
the YouTube app on my iPad is frozen. I don't know what's going on.
fear of internal power struggles while harming people both within and outside their borders. Isn't that terrifying? I hope Trump can help the Chinese people end this tyranny. Another.
All right, let me switch up right quick. Let me go to Notebook LM. Drag or upload sources. So I'm going to give it a link to this right here. Copy link. I'm gonna play with some AI stuff. I don't know how to give the, okay. I have no idea how to give this a name. Okay, so it's definitely not going to be that. Studio, audio, notes. Okay, nothing with that. And we get a chat. All right, I guess it's going to get named at, oh wait, it's up here. That's not clear. Okay, that's not clear at all. This is, oh, he named it for me. Great. So we have this document in here, and I'm going to click on audio overview just to see what it does. So it's going to generate a conversation. This may take a few minutes. Okay. Guess I'll turn on my music for now. It's saying this little thing down here that it could be inaccurate. I would hope not if it's pulling all of his information from this source here. So what I need, what my goal is I want to see how this is, just play around with it, you know, see what you can do with it. And this is serving as inspiration for something else. So getting an understanding of how this operates helps me with, I guess, getting in the mindset of how someone else is expecting something that they would like to produce similar to this, how that operates. All right, this is taking a while, so I'm going to switch over to some other things and see what we can do. So you can upload sources, upload PDFs, websites, YouTube videos, audio files, Google Docs. All right, summarize them and make interesting connection between topics. It's powered by Gemini. Get instant insights with all sources in place. Notebook LM gets to work and becomes a personalized AI expert in the information that matters most to you. So I'm going to do another one on Titans. I have the paper here in my Discord right here. So I'll probably also put it in here and see if it can just like so here's where I've left off. I don't know transformers. I only know deep learning stuff, but from my understanding, transformers are built on top of deep neural networks. So that helps. I know of attention, you know, the paper that I think Ilya and co at Google, what they released. I understand the reasoning for it. I don't understand the math behind it yet because I didn't formally go through it. I stopped at deep neural nets and convolutional neural networks, that type of thing. Things that have been around for a long time. Attention and this right here are relatively new, as well as all of the work that's been done in memory, you know, trying to organize memory in these models. So some of the math, you know, I'll have to figure it out, I guess. Yeah, so yeah, there's the long-term memory. I think there's a persistent memory. There's a short-term memory. And this surprise thing, I don't know what the hell this is, but this is apparently the key insight is introducing some type of surprise metric. Of course, my goal is to use this LLM or chat LM, whatever it is, Google LM, Notebook LM, to maybe help me with understanding how this is different and how to take my current understanding and apply it to this right here. Anyway, let's look at to see what else we can do. Work with all your sources in place. Notebook LM gets to work and becomes a personalized AI expert in the information amount. Okay. See the source, not just the answer. Gain confidence in every response. All right, listen and learn on the go. Our new audio review feature can turn your source into engaging deep dive discussions with one click. See, are we still going? You know what? This will be oh shit! Oh, it's done. Let's listen. Let's listen to what AI has produced. Oh yeah, stream's going. I don't know if I saw that, but I see it now.
Keeping up with everything happening in China right now, it's a lot. Like, seriously, a lot. Especially when it comes to the CCP. Every day, new headline, new...
All right, what the fuck? What? I wasn't expecting that. That's, wow, okay. Of course I want to do interactive mode. Allow, yeah, sure. Wait, they're gonna play?
Keeping up with everything happening in China right now, it's a lot. Like, seriously, a lot. Especially when it comes to the CCP. Every day, new headline, new threat. It's kind of crazy.
It can be overwhelming, for sure. So today we're going to dive deep into this report.
What? Oh my God. Whoa. All right. All right, this changes things. I am about to start having conversations with AI because I try to have conversations with people, and I realize it's just most people I don't want to talk about anything. But hell, I can. Wow, my gosh,
From the U.S. House of
people are cooked.
Representatives Oversight Committee.
Okay.
It's called CCP Political Warfare, a threat to American lives, livelihoods, and liberties, and man, is it ever an eye-opener.
So this report, released on October 24, 2024, is saying that the CCP is working inside the U.S.
Yeah, and not just the usual spy stuff.
Mm.
It's like, imagine a chess game. We used to think about, like, military threats, right? But the CCP, they're using every piece on the board, economics, culture, tech, you name it, all to, weaken us from the inside.
So not just competing anymore, but actively trying to, what, sabotage us?
Pretty much. The report calls it unrestricted warfare and political warfare, and there's...
Oh, hey, our listener wants to join in. What's up?
Can you hear me? Is this working? No, it doesn't seem to be working. Okay, so I got to figure
we
out.
can hear you loud and clear. Glad to know it's working on your end.
Absolutely. It's always great to have you with us, and we appreciate you chiming in.
So where were we? Yeah, the CCP, not just competing,
Wow.
but trying to break us.
So it can't hear me.
And it's
All
not
right, that's
just theory,
good.
they're already
Okay,
doing
that's
it.
good.
The report has some really disturbing examples.
Like what? Give me an example. Something that shows how serious this is.
Well, there's this thing about Diviner Walls, from Minnesota, the one running for VP.
Yeah. Not exactly a nobody.
Right, and the report goes way back, showing his ties to, like, CCP-affiliated organizations. Decades of this stuff.
Wait, Governor Walz? A heartbeat away from the presidency, potentially. That's scary.
Exactly. It's what they call elite capture,
Governor
a classic
Walz.
CCP tactic. They find people in government, business, academia, anyone with influence, and they compromise them.
Compromise. Like black... Yep, go on.
Do they even need to do elite capture? It's part of our government where if you have money, you get a say. And given that a lot of companies are publicly traded and you can buy shares, it makes sense that a country that has a lot of money can buy a lot of shares in a company, gain influence, gain the hearts and minds of all of the people who work there, and use that to, I guess, to establish whatever it is that they want.
That's a really insightful point you're bringing up. It's true that money plays a big role in our system.
Yeah, you're basically saying that the
It is
CCP's
slow.
methods are just like capitalism on
Slightly
steroids,
slow, but
right?
it's still really
In
good.
a way, yes. They exploit existing structures, like the stock market, and use that to gain influence. It's not just about, like, bribing politicians, but also about controlling companies and industries.
So it's like a systemic issue, not just a few bad actors, like we were saying with elite capture, but it's also the system itself that's vulnerable.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so challenging. The CCP isn't just operating outside
That's
the
really
system.
cool.
They're actively working within it. They're using our rules and values to their advantage.
Okay, let's unpack this. So these people, whether they realize it or not, they end up working for the CCP, even against America's interests.
That's the scary part. It's sneaky but effective. Like with Walls, he organized student trips to China, funded by, guess who? The Chinese government.
Wow.
He had a fellowship
think-
at a,
oh my
well, a
gosh.
CCP-aligned university in Macau. He even shared the
This is
stage and
amazing.
events with known CCP influencers.
And this isn't ancient history. This is someone who could be in the White
And I
House.
can
Makes you
download it.
wonder how deep this goes.
gonna
It's a
download
good
it.
question. And it's not just politics. The report also shows how the CCP is attacking us economically.
Economic warfare. So more than just the usual trade deficit stuff we hear about.
Way more. We're talking about them using their economic power to
Oh, it's not
control
the
our
audio.
policies, hurt our businesses, make us
It's
dependent
just
on them.
the
It
thing that I
weakens us as a
uploaded.
whole.
So they're playing the long game. Dominate the economy, weaken the U.S. all at the same time.
Right. And they're not afraid to get their hands dirty, even exploiting like humanitarian crises to their advantage.
Okay, now that's just messed up. Give me an example. Something real, something people can relate to.
Look at the fentanyl crisis, devastating communities all over. This report makes a clear connection between that and the CCP.
Really, fentanyl too.
Yeah, they're supplying the chemicals to make it, turning a blind eye to the money laundering by the cartels bringing it here.
So they're profiting off the misery of American families and making us less secure at the same time.
It shows how far the...
Do you think this is just, I guess, retribution for the opium wars that Britain and America and other Western powers did to give them their century of shame? It's a little slow.
That's a really interesting question, and it brings up a lot of historical context.
It does. It raises an important point about how historical grievances can shape present-day actions.
Okay, let's unpack this. So you're suggesting that the CCP's actions could be partly motivated by a desire to, like, avenge the opium wars and their century of shame?
It's not unreasonable to
I'm
think
curious
that
if it's going to know
historical
this. Like,
events play a role.
how does it?
The report does highlight how the CCP sees the world through the lens of its own history, and that includes those past
I
injustices.
wonder if they're going
So
to
it's
talk
not just
anything about the
power or
opium wars
money,
at all.
There's a kind of historical,
Like what was happening. It does seem like it
score-settling
is.
element to it as well.
It's possible. And it's fascinating how historical narratives are used to
Wait, what? Ah, man.
New threat, it's kind of crazy. You're suddenly a racist.
fentanyl crisis, devastating communities all over.
Okay, so
This report makes a clear
guess I can't just
connection
add
between
notes
that
while
and
it's
the
talking.
CCP.
Really? Fentanyl too.
that's
Yeah,
something
they're
I would like to
supplying
be
the
able to
chemicals
do.
to
though.
make it,
So
turning
let
a
me write that
blind
down.
eye to the money laundering by the cartels bringing it here.
So they're profiting off the misery of American families and making us less secure at the same time.
It shows how far they'll go to get what they want, even contributing to, thousands of deaths here.
It's like a horror movie where the monster is manipulating everything from the shadows.
And get this, they're using our own values against us.
Our values. How's that even possible?
Okay, so already I have some ideas for how this could be improved from a usability perspective. So I'm writing some notes on my little sticky. So being able to add notes while this is talking and not just like break me out, that would be incredibly useful. The other thing is I want to know my questions. It should show me what questions I've asked. Show what questions are asked. And the direct answer. In addition to that, to that answer, I would also want to suggest some follow-up resources to go check out. All right. So already I got 3 things. And I'm not, wait, hold on, let me see. Open Web UI. Is that the same thing? Get Open Web UI. I think I have access to this. Oh, this is the GPT thing. Okay, so I guess we want to expand this, change the UI a bit. And I was told that this is in Svelte. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Svelte here. So let's see. Look at the app right quick. Okay, we got our scripts. Where's the body? Okay, here's our body here. We have splash screen image. Yeah, we don't care about any of that. And I guess that there's a router in here that's moving this content around. Progress bar. Okay, what else is there? It's an app, and then let's look at the routes. App. Playground is probably, it's probably gonna be layout and then maybe the playground. All right, we got some event listeners. You know what? This is probably going to be a project that I'm going to contribute to. So let me go ahead and star it. Okay. It breaks my hit browser history. So yeah, I'll go ahead and star it, and I will fork it so that in the case that I want to submit PRs, I can do that. I'll fork this under my personal account. Yeah, create the fork. And I don't want all the history right now. I don't need it. And then I'll clone this directly to my machine and see what changes I can make. Oh, actually, before I do that, whatever. I'll go ahead and clone it using my favorite application. See, they're using Cypress for testing. They're using Kubernetes for, so I'll probably need to run Docker and some other stuff on this local machine. It's not OneSignal anymore. This is, technically this is Open Web AI or whatever they are. But I normally follow this pattern where whatever the fork is, it's going to be. So I'll put it here. Hopefully that was the right spelling, because sometimes I capitalize things. Okay, so while that's going, let me go back to the fork to contribute to the project. Let's see what issues exist, what I can get involved in. Tag system not allowing for translation. Clone not allowed. Do they don't triage their stuff? Oh, they triage some of it, so we'll look for help on it. Okay, and then they have good first issue. Add auto direction detection. To improve the display of text for Arabic languages, please make the interface automatically detect the language. The text is in Arabic, make it RTL. This example, okay, that's something I can do. So I will, this is 8448. 8448. These are, I'm gonna like pick a bunch of issues that I could potentially do. And then before I do anything, I'm gonna make sure I request, say, hey, is anybody working on this? Because I don't wanna waste my time. I can get me some PRs merged into this project. Native desktop app. I can definitely help with that. Web push. Devel. And I know, man, this is probably something, yeah, I can actually do this. Needed for real-time push notifications for desktop and mobile. Huh. That's interesting. That's actually kind of interesting, considering that I've just spent 4 years doing that. All right, so this is 8262. I'll put a little star next to this as something that like I'm explicitly interested in. Let's just say that not only have I done mobile push notifications, web push notifications, but I've also built a desktop application for Mac OS and Windows. Yeah. Open Web UI. Let's see. Is this just a project? What's going on here? White paper, docs, leaderboard. All right, let's look at the white paper. Oh, this is short. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and save this off. I have a lot of reading and stuff that I got to do because I'm ramping up on this project that this AI thing I was referring to. Open source. Yeah. We'll just copy that. Oops. And I will go ahead and put it in the right place. Goes to media. Where are my papers? Papers. Save it off. All right. Yeah, that's cool. Let's go back to this thing. This is amazing.
Possible.
Think
This is
about it.
amazing.
Free speech, academic freedom, open markets, things we're proud of. They figured out how to twist
Oh, I have a question. My bad. How do you deal with hallucinations, especially when they occur with unknown unknowns? I don't know. In this case, I am just trusting that it's not hallucinating in this, instead pulling directly from this 300-page paper that I gave it. So far, and that's one of the reasons why I asked about the opium wars, is I was curious to see if it was going to pull in additional information that's not in that paper. And I know that paper is not in that paper. And it didn't, or it, when these, the thing, it didn't do that. So my only guess is that it's really using the information that it's present with. And because I'm not asking it anything that's outside of the scope, well, I did. It just didn't answer anything. But because everything that it's talking about in this little podcast thing is within scope, I'm more willing to trust it. Now, apparently there is a feature that it will tell you the source of stuff, but I'm new to this. I have never used this product in my life. It's the first time. So I think that I'm going to start to use this a lot more often. Like a lot more often. This is phenomenal.
those very things to hurt us.
Okay, mind blown. Give me an example of how they do that.
They love to use accusations of racism to shut down anyone who criticizes them or points out what they're doing.
So if you talk about human rights in China or CCP influence here, you're suddenly a racist.
Exactly. It's brilliant in a messed up way. It creates this climate where people are afraid to speak up, even when they see something wrong.
Wow. They've turned our own...
I guess I have to play it.
Justify actions today, even if it means that they're hurting innocent people.
Okay, and this brings us...
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
It sounds like the Chinese government needs racism to exist in America for them to be able to take advantage of it. So it would make sense to me that they would also create content or propaganda reinforcing the racial stereotypes that exist here in America, because they understand that it could benefit them as well as further divide America, which makes sense to me.
That's a really astute
let me
observation.
finish
It's like
this.
they're exploiting existing
That
fault
was fast
lines
this
to
time.
weaken us.
Exactly. The report actually talks about how the CCP uses wedge narratives to divide people.
So they're not just like passively benefiting from racism, but they might be actively fanning the flames.
It's very possible. And it's all part of their broader strategy to undermine our society and our values.
Okay, and this is just like we were saying before, it's how they use our values against us, right?
Yes, like when they claim that criticizing the CCP is racist, it makes it harder to fight back. That's a really powerful point you're making. It's true that exploiting existing divisions is a common tactic in political warfare.
Yeah, you're saying that the CCP doesn't just benefit from existing racism, but they might even try to amplify it for their own gain?
Precisely. It's about weakening social cohesion and making us fight amongst ourselves rather than focusing on external.
Okay, so it's
Also,
like
it did
divide and
catch that.
conquer. They're
It did
trying to make
catch
us
that.
weaker from the inside out.
It's a
What I
very
said.
effective tactic, and they're not afraid to use it. And it's a great point because the report touches on how the CCP uses propaganda.
Propaganda, like in the old days. If you talk about human rights in China or CCP influence here, you're suddenly a racist.
Exactly. It's brilliant. In a messed up way, it creates this climate where people are afraid to speak up, even
They
when
already
see
said this,
something
right?
wrong.
Wow. They've turned our own ideals into weapons against us.
That's what they've done. It's calculated, it's deliberate, and the report makes that very clear.
So they're dividing us, making it harder for us to fight back. What can we even do?
That's the big question, isn't it? And the report says, frankly, our government isn't doing enough. Exactly. But now it's much more sophisticated. They use social media.
Yeah, you heard that? It just said exactly. Like, no, that was weird. Another thing, another tool that I was told to look into is VO2. So I'm starting to connect the dots of why they were saying, all right, look at these tools. We want to create stories and marketing. I understand how that can happen now. I guess I'll sign up. Gosh, what am I logged in as in the other one? All right, my work thing. So we'll do code and color. we can't collect your emails at the moment. Why do you need to collect my emails? All right, I'm not gonna sign up with this one. I think I might have access to this via another thing. I'll have to talk to someone to see if I have access to it.
Create fake accounts and spread misinformation to sow chaos and confusion.
So they're not just pushing their own agenda, but also trying to make it harder to know what's even true.
That's the idea. By creating confusion and distrust, they make it harder for us to respond effectively to their actions.
It's like they're attacking our ability to think clearly.
And it's not just about influencing opinions, it's about undermining our trust in institutions like the media and even the government.
Right. If we don't trust anyone, it's a lot harder to deal with any threat, foreign or domestic.
And that kind of division is exactly what they want. It distracts from real issues, weakens our resolve.
Okay, so they're playing us on multiple levels, from our political system to the
I'm
economy.
over here logging into
and even
Teams
our own
right now. I'm like,
values.
this is
That's
amazing.
why this report calls it political warfare. It's a comprehensive strategy using all the tools at their disposal.
Okay, so what else does this report say they're doing?
Well, there's this whole section on space.
Space, like the final frontier space. We're not taking this seriously enough.
Not really. Some agencies don't see the threat, or they're more worried about short-term profits than long-term security.
Give me an example of that, like we're dropping the ball.
They pull out NASA, for example, for working with the Chinese space program. Even though other agencies are saying, hey, this is risky, technology transfer, espionage, hello.
We're helping them get stronger even while they're trying to take us down.
It's pretty messed up. Shows we need a serious change in how we deal with this. Yeah, it turns out that the CCP sees space as a crucial area for military dominance.
Of course they do. It's not enough to dominate the Earth. They have to have outer space, too.
According to the report, the PLA views space as inseparable from the outcome of war.
Okay, that's a little intense.
It means they see it as a key battleground for future conflicts, so they're working hard to become a dominant force in that arena.
All right, this is really cool. So one thing that I want to try is like I want to add more sources for one. But the next thing is I want to figure out how do I add notes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to continue to play with this, but I am getting ready to go. I've been at it for about 2.5 hours now. And, you know, as I say, I can only talk to myself for so long. Plus, I got some other things I need to go off and do. So I'm about to head out. If you enjoyed any of this, I mean, you can like it if you want, or subscribe. But yeah, have a good one. Peace.